Welcome in the kitchen. I'm so glad y'all are here. It's cold, and there ain't no other way to put it other than it's cold. It's not gotten out of the 40s here today. We don't usually get temperatures like this till November, at least. But I'm telling you, it's cold. It's just cold. Just daggum cold. So we need something warm and comforting, those good winter comforting suppers, you know. And this is something I hadn't made with y'all in a long time. In fact, it was my very first video. So we're going to do it again. It's been a while, but I've made it hundreds of times in the meantime. This is one of our favorites. It is a go-to staple in the wintertime, and my mother-in-law loved them. This was one of her favorites. So when she was alive, I made it at least once a week, at least. And it's quick, and it's easy, and it is so deliciously yummy. It's chicken and dumplings. I'm not cooking a whole chicken, y'all. I'm not. I don't like a whole chicken. The only thing I like of the chicken is the breast. Some people like the thighs and the drums. I say go for it if that's what you like. If you want to cook a whole chicken in a pot all day long, then go for that too, or stick it in your slow cooker. But I don't care for that. I just like the breast meat. So, you all know when I put my chicken in the freezer, I usually put some in ground. And to grind my chicken, y'all, I'm just waving this spoon around at you. To grind my chicken, I just stick my chicken breasts in my food processor and it just grinds it up. You don't need a fancy meat grinder for that, do you? No, just stick them in there, grind your chicken. It's going to cook really fast in this pot with this butter, just like hamburger meat. You could brown hamburger meat really fast, okay? So, you can have these chicken and dumplings done in 30 minutes. I've done it many times, especially if you already have your dumplings made, which I don't tonight. I have to stop and make my dumplings. I'm going to show you all how I do that. We do not like big fat dumplings. No, I do not use biscuits. I do not use crescent rolls. I do not use anything like that. I make them from scratch. They are super, super easy and absolutely delicious. So, here we go. I've got in this pot 4 tablespoons of butter, 1 medium red onion, and a few stalks of celery. All right, to that, I'm going to add this 1 pound package, about pound and a half, of my ground up chicken. Right like that, all at one time. Throw that over there in the sink, get it out of the way. And I'm just going to see how that is. It's just ground up chicken, you all. Bring y'all down here so you can see, because I know y'all like to get down here and look in my pots. Now, there you go. Now, y'all can see. Now, I'm just going to saute this up, just like this. And while that's starting to cook, I'm going to run in here and get us some chicken broth. Okay, y'all didn't let that burn now, did you? Did y'all give it a good stir while I was gone? This is not my frozen celery and onions, because I was just about out. And I was going to have to chop an onion. I thought, well, I might as well chop the celery too. Took me about 2 seconds with my handy dandy chopper. So I've got more frozen onions and celery outside in the freezer, but it's cold. I told you I don't want to go outside. I do not. All right. To this, I'm going to add, this is poultry seasoning, okay? And this right here is about just a pinch. Just a pinch, okay? We're also going to add this herb de Provence. Can y'all see that? And I buy this in bulk. And I'm going to add maybe a couple teaspoon or teaspoon and a half of that. Okay? You just want all that to just mix up in there. Just like that. Okay, see how quick this is coming together? If I get my dumplings ready, we'll be ready to eat in just a few minutes. Now then, I'm also going to add some of this right here. This chicken bouillon, Knorr chicken bouillon. Probably, that's about 3/4 of a tablespoon. I don't want to add too much. But I'm not adding any salt to it. Not yet. Okay? I just want that to get into that chicken and just start really flavoring that chicken meat. Okay? Y'all noticed I did not put peppers in this. I do not put the peppers in my dumplings. I just use the onions and the celery. And we're just giving this a good old browning is what we're doing there. We're just browning it up. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and add the other half of that stick of butter. All right. Soon as all this just gets as happy as it can be. Matter of fact, I probably will have to take out some of this because I won't have room for all my broth. I'm going to have me a big old pot of dumplings. But what I can do is take part of this out, right like this, after I get it cooked, and freeze it, just like this. So that next time I need chicken cooked like this for dumplings, or a chicken pot pie, this worked perfect for that, or a chicken soup, which I'm going to make tomorrow. And every bit of this can go in my chicken soup tomorrow, which is probably what I'll use it for. I'll just stick it in the refrigerator and have it already kind of browned up. You all, I've told you before, you cook once and eat twice on something. That is so easy to do. Super duper easy. All right, one thing we need to add to this that we really like a lot of in them is pepper, okay? I'm going to add quite a bit of pepper. That's a couple of, about a teaspoon or teaspoon and a half of pepper, okay? Like I said, every bit of this can go right into what I'm going to make tomorrow. All of the herbs, the poultry seasoning, everything. And I may end up adding more herbs. Just depends on my taste when I taste it. You all know stuff like this, I go by taste and feel. I do not have a recipe. And you need to learn to cook, not just following a recipe. Because anybody can read a recipe and follow it and come out with a good meal. Or at least you should be able to. If you follow directions and do like it says, you know. But when you start branching out on your own and, you know, doing things, going, I want to change this, I want to change that, and you start making it your own, then that's cooking. That's real cooking, y'all. And it's starting to smell really good. And that butter will let this brown real pretty. See how quick that was to brown that chicken? About 5-10 minutes was it. That chicken's done, you all. It is done. None of this cooking the chicken all day or anything. These are really quick. If you've got a can of chicken, dump it in here. If you've got pre-cooked chicken, a rotisserie chicken, use it. It works too. All right, let me get me something to put me some chicken in for tomorrow. And we'll get on with this. Okay, here we go. I'm going to take out about half of this. That's about 4 big spoonfuls. There we go. Now, look at that. Doesn't that look nice? All right, let's throw our chicken broth in there. This is a carton. I think it's 32 ounces, which is a quart. Yep, 4 cups. 1 quart of chicken broth going in right like that. All right, we're going to turn this down right here, and we're going to let this simmer. Okay, we're just going to let that simmer for a little bit, just like that. We're going to come over here, and we're going to make us some dumplings. All right. That over there all the way. Here's my bowl. Can y'all see? I don't know if you can or not. Move y'all up just a little bit. All right, now you can see. Here's my bowl. And to my bowl, I'm going to add some all-purpose flour. About 1.25 cups. Okay? And then to that, I'm going to add some shortening. No, not quite that much. About like that. About the size of an egg. Right in there. Okay? That's just Crisco shortening. That's it right there. Just Crisco shortening. Right in there. All right. We're just going to start mixing this up with our hand. I'm going to try not to turn y'all off and let y'all see you can make these dumplings literally in about 30 minutes, start to finish. Okay? You want to get this mixed in there real good, just like this. And it'll just break up, just like this. You can use a pastry blender. You can use 2 forks. You can put it in a food processor, you know, whatever. But honestly, I find it quicker and easier just to stick my nice clean hand in there that the good Lord gave me to cook with. Okay? Now then, I'm using buttermilk. Use regular milk. Use water. Use chicken broth. Okay? Let me see if I can get it open with one hand. I'm having to hold it. All right, here we go. I'm going to put some buttermilk in there. Turn my lights on, y'all. It's dark out here tonight. I'm telling you. Kind of a little later getting supper together, and it's kind of dark. I'm just adding a little bit at a time. You just want to make, it's kind of like making biscuits, y'all. It's just kind of like making biscuits. Just like making biscuits. All right, let's get our fingers cleaned off here. And I'm going to go in here, a little bit of flour, and do like this right here. Get my hands cleaned off. Just like that. Okay, now then let's put some more flour right here. All right, now then, take our dough. And y'all, I usually make extra dumplings, put them in the freezer. But I'll make some here one day and freeze them. Because if they're already in the freezer, all you have to do is take them out, break them apart, and drop them in. But you do them this very same way, and you if you want them to rise up and not be flat, use self-rising flour. Put that in the sink to be washed. Use self-rising flour, okay? Now I'm just getting this mixed good, just with my hand, just like this, just making sure that it's mixed in good, okay? All right, y'all see that? Look at that. Doesn't that look pretty? I'll put just a little bit more down here. Not much. All right, let's try to get it to as nice a square as we can. or a rectangle rather. Because we're going to start rolling it out from the center out. Take it from the center and go out and turn it. And you want to get these as thin as possible. I mean paper thin. But these just roll right out. Easy peasy to roll these dumplings out. Look at this. See how quick and easy this is? And like I said, you want to get them as thin as possible. Y'all, it took me a lot of years to learn how to make dumplings like this. Had an aunt that made good dumplings, and I'd say, how you doing? Well, I take a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and I just do this and I do that. And, you know, it took a while. But I finally learned, sure did, finally learned how to make dumplings. And boy, I'm glad I did. Now, you can buy frozen dumplings in the grocery store. In the freezer section, there are Mrs. B's, Annie B's. Maybe they're both the same. Maybe there's two kinds. And I used to use those. For years, I used those because I couldn't figure out how to make dumplings. And once I finally learned, it was like, holy crap, these are so good. And like I said, it's something that my mother-in-law absolutely loves. Or she did. She loved them. All right, now then, I'm going to bring y'all back over here. Well, first let's cut our dumplings because we're right here. And to do that, I usually take me a pizza cutter. Usually just take a pizza cutter. If I can get a hold of one, I can see it. Okay. Cut these as big or as small as you want them. I don't like my dumplings real big. I'm cutting them about 1 inch. Half to maybe 1 inch, 3/4. Something like that. Some of them are bigger than others. Now, that's okay. Now, this is another one of Andy's favorites. He loves chicken and dumplings. Used to be every time we went to the Cracker Barrel, he wanted chicken and dumplings. And then he kind of got out of it and started going for the steak and gravy and mashed potatoes. And we just don't eat out much. I just do not enjoy it. To me, it's a job. And when we were without power those few days, it was just like torture to me. All right, now I want y'all to see how thin these are. Look at that. Can y'all see how thin that is? That's very, very thin. Okay? Now then, come back over here. Look at that. See how that's just boiling away. All right, we're going to taste it. See what kind of flavors we got going on here. Oh my goodness, y'all, that's so good. That herb de Provence adds a lot. All right, now then, we're going to go in here with this whole milk. Use skim milk, 2%, 1%, canned milk, whipping cream, whatever you want. And I'm going to add about 2 cups. That's about 2 cups of milk. Okay? You don't have to add milk to yours. We like ours with milk. So I add milk. You can add more broth. I'm going to add just a few more of those herbs because these herbs just really, you know, I'm not sure what all's in this. I know rosemary and thyme and sage and maybe some parsley. I'm really not sure what all's in it. I'm sure we can look it up online and it'll tell us. I know you can get it at Trader Joe's. You can buy it at most grocery stores. I get mine at my local Amish, or not Amish, my local Mennonite store. So when this comes up to a boil, we're going to drop our dumplings in there. And that take about 3 minutes to cook. And then we're ready to eat. Now, how fast was this? You know, it's been 20 minutes since I started this video. And I have got these dumplings, even with making the homemade dumplings, almost ready to go on the table. This is literally 30-minute chicken and dumplings from scratch. No soups. No pre-made stuff, no pre-cooked chicken. 30-minute chicken and dumplings from scratch, y'all. I mean, you can't get easier than this. You just really cannot. This is just, and it's so comforting. The trick is using ground chicken. You can buy it in the grocery store. You can buy ground turkey. You're going to get the same flavors with ground turkey or ground chicken. Doesn't matter. Celery and onion, just a tiny little bit of poultry seasoning. You don't want to overdo it. And your herb de Provence. That's all you need. Milk and chicken broth. Yes, if you cook your chicken, you get homemade chicken broth. I get that. I don't want to have to waste the other parts of the chicken that we do not eat. Therefore, I just buy chicken broth. Okay? I'm going to taste this since I added the milk because it may need a little more seasoning. It could use just a little more of this right here. And I'm going to go in there with about another half a tablespoon. So I've had about a tablespoon and a half of this right here. I used to use it as a Walnut Creek chicken soup base, powdered. Basically the same thing. Yeah, and I've got some of that up there in the cabinet that I probably do need to use, and I will use it when I run out of this. For anything I would put that in, I'd put this other in. Same thing. Okay? That just added us a little more chicken flavor in there. And as soon as this comes up to a boil good, I'm going to turn it up just a little bit. I have it down about medium-low. Turn it up. And the flour off of your dumplings. Can y'all see down in there now good? See how our butter's coming to the top? We're going to make us a little bit of roux. Not a lot, but just a little bit. With some flour. I'm going to put some all-purpose flour in here. Okay, I've just got about, that's not even quite a quarter of a cup of all-purpose flour. Okay, and I'm going to go in there with about a quarter of a cup of milk. Okay, cold milk. Cold. Needs to be cold. We're just going to dissolve this flour in that cold milk. Just like this. And that will keep that butter from separating. It will attach to this flour. You can also use cornstarch. No big deal. But you know what? I had the flour sitting out here and I didn't cornstarch. So that's the reason I'm using this. And I will add just a little bit of this because I do not want it to get too thick before I add my dumplings. Okay? But you got to have a little bit of that. And I usually throw me a little flour in with my chicken. All right, there we go. That's just a little bit. So we'll see how far that gets us. And that may be plenty. If I want it a little thicker, I'll add a little more in there. You just have to cook it for, you know, let it boil for 5 minutes to get that flour taste out, okay? All right. You know, I was telling y'all the other day about a dish towel of my mama's that said, "Oh, goody, more dishes to wash." Well, right here it is. Y'all look up here. Right here it is. Can y'all see that? It says, "Oh, goody, more dishes to wash." You know, I feel like that sometimes. All right, look there. It's boiling. It's just boiling away. Look at that. You don't want it. Excuse me. That pepper's getting to me. You don't want it to boil too hard now. okay? And when you start adding your dumplings, you do not stir it. Do not. You do not stir this once you add your dumplings. All right? So I'm going to lay this right back there. And get me a big old spatula to get these dumplings. Look here. I just scoop them up on a spatula and just drop them in randomly because you don't want them to all clump together. And like I said, you just want to keep it at a nice rolling boil. You do not want it to boil over. Because, you know, if it boils over on your stove, you're going to mess, right? You can use cubed chicken. You can use chicken strips. Cut it up fine if you'd rather have that texture of your chicken and don't want it to ground little bitty pieces. We're fine with the little pieces. But if you stir your dumplings before they start cooking good, they'll fall apart and make a mess. And then you'll just be left with a pot of mush. You don't want that. You want to see, look at them, have come to the top. Can y'all see that? That's what you want them to do. And I'm just scooping these up on this spatula and bringing them over here and dropping them one at a time right into here. And if I hadn't been gabbing at y'all so long, I'd have this done and on the table. And that would be our 30 minutes, you all. I'm not going to edit this video at all. It's going to be start to finish dumplings in 30 minutes. Put as many dumplings as you want in here. If you want it thick with dumplings, go for it. If you want it a little soupier, don't add so many dumplings. That's the way you take care of that. We like dumplings. We do. This is also a good way to use up leftover turkey after Thanksgiving or Christmas, as well as a gazillion other recipes. You all, I love chicken and I love turkey. I'm a poultry girl. I guess if I had to say my favorite, I would have to say chicken or turkey. You can also just do these in strips and then break them off. But y'all, I do this and then I just cut them in my strips like I showed y'all I did over there before I made them into the little squares. Take those strips and lay them on a sheet pan. Okay? And lay them with parchment paper between them. Just stack them up with parchment paper between them. Layers. And freeze them. And when they're frozen, you take them out and drop them in a Ziploc bag. And I don't have any right now because, you know, I used them all up from last winter. And we don't eat chicken and dumplings in the summertime. And so then you just drop them in your pan. In your bag. I just drop mine in whole pieces. And then I'm just about through. Got just a few more dumplings here. Just a few. Let's see if they'll all fit in the pot. Uh-oh, that was a clump. It'll be all right. Let's see what we got going on here. All right, this is it. This is all of them. This is also a very economical supper. Very economical. Sure is. All right, there we go. Y'all give it just about about 5 minutes, and it's ready to go to the table. Since they're starting to come to the top, I'm going to just kind of gently knock some of these down that are on the top. Just kind of get them over into the middle just a little bit. You see this? I am not stirring. I'm just knocking them to the middle, just like that. Okay, and I don't think it's going to be thick enough, so I'm going to add just a little bit more of this. Because I like it to be a thicker, more of a gravy consistency and less. Here I'm just going around the edges. Once they start to cook, you can gently stir like I'm doing right now. But you do not want to go in there and go wah, 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 and stir them a whole lot, because they will fall all to pieces, and you don't want that. Okay, I'm just gently going in here, trying to make sure that nothing sticks, because you don't want anything to stick. No, you don't. All right, let's give this a taste, see if it's seasoned well. I believe it is. I'm going to add just a tiny bit more of this chicken bouillon. Just a little bit. About another teaspoon. If that, it may not have been a teaspoon. There again, like I said, you go in with your taste, and you taste things as you cook them. Just going to gently stir that on the top so it kind of, look at that. Doesn't that look delicious? My 30-minute start to finish homemade from scratch chicken and dumplings. Right here, y'all. Right here. Need some more pepper. I told y'all we like a lot of pepper in ours. A lot of pepper. All right, let's see if we can get that in there. You can add pepper, salt, pepper, herbs, whatever to your dumplings when you're making them, if you want to. I have added pepper to the actual dumplings, and they are good. That way you get pepper in every bite, and it's very evenly distributed. See, they're cooked pretty much now, so I can come in here and kind of stir them a little bit. But until they cook, if you start stirring, they will just fall all to pieces. So, all right, I'm going to turn this down on low, and I'm going to bring y'all up. We're going to close this video out because, like I said, 30 minutes, start to finish. Quick, easy peasy, from scratch, even homemade dumplings. Don't get better. You don't get better or quicker than what I've done right here as far as chicken and dumplings go. So y'all remember, as always, like, share, subscribe, comment, ring the bell for notifications so you don't miss a video. That'll be all for this one. I'll see you all in the next one. Thanks for watching.